Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and we finally got ourselves a trailer for Season 3 of Call of Duty Vanguard and Warzone. I believe this is actually the intro cinematic trailer for the Season 3, and Season 2 actually got extended for quite a long time. We pretty much had two seasons combined into one for Season 2, except we just didn't get as much content, so Vanguard became really boring, and it's been boring for a while, and so hopefully Season 3 does spice things up, which it looks like it's going to, because Godzilla is going to be coming to Call of Duty, which is pretty crazy to think of. I think about like maybe 1 or 2 months ago, it was actually leaked that Godzilla was going to be coming to the game, and now it looks like we're finally getting teases for Godzilla, and we'll talk a little bit more about Godzilla here in a second, but I want to talk a little bit more about this like Season 3 intro trailer that we got here. So within this trailer, we get introduced to 3 new operators, and this is actually Task Force Harpy. By all means, these characters don't really look too interesting, except for that one girl who has that kind of mask on. I don't know what kind of mask that is actually called, but it looks pretty cool nonetheless, so I'm curious what kind of operator skins we're going to get for that character. However, the other characters, hopefully we get some more interesting skins, because these characters look pretty bland, but then again, this is kind of in a World War II setting, so what am I to judge, right? So either way, you know, they're kicking ass, they're killing bad guys, they take over this cargo that is holding a lot of weaponry, and there's a radio in there, and you can pretty much hear Godzilla doing its roar or laser beam out of its mouth type audio, and so we can actually listen to this audio from Twitter that Call of Duty actually put out that was separate from this actual trailer itself, and I'll play it for you guys right now. And what's interesting about this audio is that Prestige's Key actually brought to my attention over on Twitter and even in his own YouTube video that if you put this audio file into something called a spectrogram, you can see that it says monsters are real. So this is clearly hinting to Godzilla. I mean, there's just no doubt about it at this point. And so it's really interesting to see that Godzilla is actually coming to Vanguard and Warzone. However, we don't know how exactly it's going to be implemented. What I do find interesting, however, is Godzilla going to be part of like the main Call of Duty story now? Because since the Godzilla roar was in that radio and it was clearly in that intro cinematic for Season 3, does that mean it's part of the lore for Call of Duty? Because we've had like in the past, of course, seen some characters from other movies and media come into Call of Duty. For example, Snoop Dogg's actually supposed to be coming to Call of Duty here pretty soon, but also we've seen things like Ghostface from the movie Scream come into Call of Duty, but it wasn't really part of the lore and storyline. It was just some sort of like Halloween theme that they wanted to put into Warzone, and so I don't know what's going to happen with Godzilla. Is it actually going to be part of the Call of Duty lore? It would be interesting if that is going to be the case, but I also want to show you guys this image here, which of course was shown at the end of this trailer, and it says Season 3 Classified Arms, right? So that's basically what they're going to be calling Season 3, and what's interesting is that I'm getting a lot of Cold War vibes looking at this image for some reason. That's not a bad thing at all whatsoever. I actually was a big fan of the Cold War seasons. However, what's interesting is that I first thought that since it was giving me Cold War vibes, I thought they were going to mostly focus on Season 3 as Cold War content rather than Vanguard content, but it looks like this is still going to be focused on Vanguard content, because when you see the weapons in the background and what the character's holding, they actually are World War II weapons, but they are designed to look futuristic, and so I don't really understand what kind of approach they're going with here. I mean, obviously they're breaking away from a World War II themed season, so clearly things are going to be getting spiced up through this season, and we're not going to really have a traditional World War II shooter. I know some people might be upset about that, but let's be real here. I mean, nobody was really looking forward to a World War II Call of Duty game anyway, so I'm curious how they're going to actually lay this season out. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of blueprints for these weapons that are going to look futuristic as well. I mean, we already have them in the game through the bundles in the shop anyway, so might as well throw it in the battle pass as well. As of right now, we do not have a roadmap for Season 3. I imagine we're going to get one next week. They usually release one a week before the next season actually starts, so I'm really curious what kind of content we're going to get throughout this, of course, roadmap in Season 3 content. But let's talk a little bit more about Godzilla here. So I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point, you know, Godzilla will be making its way to Warzone, not just in Vanguard, and so I don't really know how they're going to like handle the whole Godzilla theme into Vanguard's multiplayer, just because I mean, Godzilla Godzilla is this huge monster, right? I mean, it's possible they could give us a multiplayer map, and in the background you see like Godzilla and King Kong fighting each other, or maybe Godzilla is just like, you know, destroying a bunch of this military aircraft and stuff like that. That would be really cool to see something like that in the background of a multiplayer map. I can definitely see them doing something like that. But what about like interacting with Godzilla? Is there any way we can do that in Vanguard's multiplayer? Not entirely sure. However, Warzone, you can definitely see them adding a giant monster onto Caldera. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense that that would actually be the case. And since Nova 6 gas is used in the lore for the Call of Duty storyline, I wonder if Nova 6 has anything to do with like awakening Godzilla, or if they're going to use Nova 6 gas to actually take out Godzilla. To me, that makes a lot more sense, but I guess we'll have to see how that actually plays out, if it does. And so I'm really curious to see how Godzilla is going to play out in Warzone, because I can definitely see them going with the route of like having this giant monster that everyone has to fight, and so that could actually be the case. And I don't know if it would be the case where it's like everybody like is on the same team, so there's like 100 players on the same team on Caldera and they're all trying to take down Godzilla. There could be like some sort of game mode like that, or maybe we could play as Godzilla ourselves. This is something that I haven't seen anybody actually brainstorm about yet, which I thought was kind of interesting. Everyone's talking about, oh, we're going to be able to fight Godzilla, or Godzilla is going to be fighting King Kong or something like that, which that would be really sick. However, nobody is talking about actually playing as Godzilla itself, right? I mean, why wouldn't we be able to play Godzilla? I think that would be so sick. They could do something similar to Fortnite, where you were actually able to play as Thanos, of course, from the Avengers movies, and you could only play as Thanos if you picked up the Infinity Gauntlet. Well, maybe something similar could happen with Caldera, where you have to find maybe a certain item to play as Godzilla, or maybe you have to collect multiple different items, and then when you collect all 3 or 5 items, then you can transform into Godzilla itself. Like, that would be freaking insane if you could actually do something like that. I want to bring King Kong up again because nobody's really talking about King Kong too much, because if we're getting Godzilla into the Call of Duty series, then why can't we get King Kong? Because obviously, you know, not too long ago we had Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, whatever the name of the movie was, and so it'd be obvious that King Kong would make an appearance as well. It'd be really cool if going back to like where you can actually play as Godzilla, it would be sick if you could play King Kong as well, and then like whatever players are able to access Godzilla and whatever players are able to access King Kong, you could actually fight each other as like these giant monsters. Maybe from the movie you could play as King Kong and he'll have like his shield and sword, or is it an axe he has? I think it's an axe that he actually has. I can't really remember. It's been a while. And then of course with Godzilla, you can use that laser beam out of its mouth and just completely demolish anything in your path with it. I mean, there's so much they could actually do with Godzilla, and I don't really know exactly how they're going to do it. And I really hope it actually plays out well, because Call of Duty, every time they try to release new content, it just seems like everything's in a really buggy state, and so I really hope that's not the case with this coming into the game. But nonetheless, this is really interesting. I love having these type of crossovers in Call of Duty. Fortnite's been doing it pretty much forever now, and so I'm glad that Call of Duty is actually starting to pick up on this crossover stuff more frequently. But I still think it's really interesting that Godzilla might actually be part of the lore for Call of Duty. At least that's what it seems when it comes to this intro cinematic for Season 3. But nonetheless, more information will be available to us in the near future. I'll make sure to keep you guys up to date on the channel, whatever that information will be for Season 3, and of course for anything related to Godzilla in Call of Duty. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel for those videos, and like this video if you enjoyed it. And of course, do not forget to follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with me outside of YouTube, and I shall catch you guys later.